What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. Looking forward to this session with y'all. Thanks for being here this morning. Breath of fresh air for me as well. Yeah, this audio is a track on artist.io. It's called Honeymoon. I use the instrumental version. It's artist.io. Pretty cool. That seems to be our theme song. Sets us off in a good mood. Good morning from across the globe. Colorado, Austin. We got everybody here this morning, and the markets are truly alive. It is beautiful. Yeah, Sean, what's going on? What's up with the correlation between the equity markets and Bitcoin, as the equity markets since May have been teeing off to the upside and Bitcoin has not moved anywhere? It's a good question. Buenos dias, Michael. What's going on, everyone? Happy trading. Yeah, I mean, look, we're talking about it all. We'll talk about it all in this session. We're going to talk about what's going on with the equity markets. We're going to talk what's going on with the US dollar. The US dollar, check in on the euro US dollar, the US dollar, Mexican peso, gold, Bitcoin continues to lag everything, but sooner or later, what happens? The longer the base, the bigger the break. Right? So whether or not you think we're going up or down, that's how you want to be positioned accordingly. You all know my feeling. I was looking at one of the Bitcoin videos this morning on the channel, and it had about 8,000 views, and I was just saying, wow, I think this is probably the best video I've ever put out there. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's on the playlist. If I had the link, I would share it with you. I don't have the link in front of me right now. Looking Ireland. I saw someone here from Long Island, New York. That was awesome to see. Long Island representing. Not more accumulation time for Bitcoin. That's exactly 100% correct. As it starts breaking above $20,000 and $30,000, that time will no longer be with us. These continue to be wonderful times. Bitcoin is flat. All right, where is the S&P headed? We're going to start off with this First of all, as many of you know, anyone who was here yesterday with us knows that we were at that point neutral on the S&P. Definitely looking for an upside break over here, but neutral, waiting for the breakout itself. And now that we seems to be getting that breakout, and we still have a big session ahead of us. New York is starting in 25 minutes. Let's see what they do with the market. Would it be unusual to see us take out the high and then reverse down? No. We're waiting for a breakout, right? And then we're waiting for that pullback into that broken resistance over here, and a resumption upwards will give us plenty of opportunity to enter for this next leg. And where is this next leg going? It's going right around actually where I ended that blue little streak at 3,300. That's where it looks like, give or take 10 points. That's where it looks like we'll be headed next. And that's great. Dow continuing to lead this morning also, right, to the upside. And what's going on with the NASDAQ? Are we seeing new leadership? Are we seeing? No, I don't think so. I think we're just seeing right here. This happens a lot actually during the Bitcoin bull market. You'll see, for example, Bitcoin leading for a series of days. And then you'll see that money rotate out of Bitcoin into altcoins. And then on their rise, it'll flow back into Bitcoin. I think you're seeing some money flow out for sure of tech, some profit taking, but that money wants to remain inside equities, right? So where's that going? It's going over to the Dow. It's going over to the S&P. So I don't necessarily think that it's a change of leadership so much as just a rotation here. This thing, this price generally doesn't go straight up or straight down. And this was basically ever since the breakout over here, NASDAQ was going pretty much straight up. So, when we talk about the equity markets, I have three words, according to plan, right? And everyone who follows the channel, the reason why we all look at the markets together is kind of just to give us the bearing where we need to be on what side of the market. And all of us have been quite bullish here on equities now for a while. Again, if that changes, we'll be all over it. But right now, we're looking for a next leg up possibly as we trade above the June high. If we get a breakout over here and a pullback, that will be the opportunity to look to dig back in over there on the equity markets. The dollar is very weak today. The dollar is testing actually the June low as well. You could see the correlation clearly between the dollar and the equity markets of late. And that continues over here. If the dollar breaks down over here and tests down at 95, which is a pretty big number, it's a pretty big level. Let me zoom out a little bit just so you could take a look at 95 over here. And you could see going back to that resistance area over here, right? We touched down into that area. Back over here in February of 2016, again in play in this area. Heavy resistance then in October of 2017. And again, forward resistance, forward support. It's a big level, 95. It looks like if we make the next leg down over here, which we are on the verge of, that is the next stop. That could mean, of course, that could also translate into some higher highs here on the equity markets, right? So there we are. What's going on with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is just lagging big time, right? It's just, it hasn't gone anywhere, like we said, since May, right? And you talk about where the S&P was on May 11th, 2020, and Bitcoin is slightly higher. And then you look at the S&P at the same time. What was that? May 11th. Boom, boom, boom. Wow. The S&P is up significantly. Look at that. There we are. May 11th. S&P is trading, 2940. Today it's trading at 32.33. I'm having a hard time seeing the correlation. So I'm not, as you all know, I've never been really on that train, except for saying during a crisis, of course, almost everything is correlated. So, Bitcoin lagging, gold still maintaining and consolidating the 1800 level. You could see that this looks like a nice consolidation over here. Is it getting ready to break out over here? There's just one thing to make a note of today, like in your mind, make a note. And there's a few things today to make a note of, including the Japanese yen is really not as weak. It's the dollar weakness is the story today. Australian dollar strength, right? By the way, the Swiss franc, I think, is the strongest currency pair of the year. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that to be true. And interesting, today it is the weakest. So where does that lead us? I'm seeing the weak dollar today, but I'm not seeing gold making gains. Gold is basically unchanged on the day. Now that's okay. It's consolidating some nice gains over here, right? It's consolidating nice gains. It remains any buy pullbacks in support. Same thing with silver. It's I feel really good that most everyone is definitely managing the trade in and out is one thing. Being on the right side of the market is another. If you're on the right side of the market, it makes managing your trades a lot better. If you're on the right side of the market and you're getting stopped out often, obviously your stop losses are just too tight. If you're able to read the direction of the market, that's where you want to be first. Silver, buy off supports, same exact thing, same game plan. In effect, someone mentioned that, you know what? This just gives more time to accumulate Bitcoin. I mean, they are absolutely correct on that, right? And that's exactly what it is. I personally am happy to be buying $9,000 Bitcoin. I would be happy buying, well, anyway, I will be accumulating somewhere, and I'll let you know, but somewhere into the $20,000-$30,000 range. And then at that point, I'm going to say, all right, now I'm going to ride this bull market. And now the next thing on my agenda is going to be where I position out of this trade. But for now, it's accumulation phase. The Swiss franc is always the strongest currency because the Swiss central bank is pegging it just like last time. But then they just stopped. That was a devastation when the Swiss bank lost the peg. You saw a 30% devaluation, so 20 to 30% devaluation overnight. And you know what? A lot of foreign exchange brokers forgave the traders who went into negative balances, lost a lot of money. Almost all Forex brokers forgave those balances. Olanda did. I know Olanda forgave negative balances at that point. And you know what? I kind of feel safer with retail Forex brokers than I do with Chase Bank or something like that, or Citibank or whatever the case may be. And you know what? I don't know why, but I do. Is it possible Bitcoin will not follow the last pattern and stay flat? No, I don't think so. The longer the consolidation here, the bigger the breakout's going to be. It's going to break out. It's going to break out soon. Without putting a timetable on it, it's going to break out soon. Initially, I'll put a timetable on it. I think initially I put 3 months after the halving, right? That puts us on June, July, August. So I do think by August or in August, and I know that's still a pretty big timetable. That's 4 weeks, but we're 2 weeks away from August, and then we have the month of August. So sometime within the next 7 weeks, Bitcoin breaks 10,400. My opinion. Boom, boom, boom. Never heard of them, Connor. Let me get back into the markets over here. We have about 15 minutes to the U.S. markets open. We got 700 people in here this morning. Thanks to every one of you for being here. Let's take a look and continue moving forward. I've been talking a lot about the Mexican peso, right? And how I believe positioning into the Mexican peso is a great way to play the dollar. I think it's one of the most aggressive ways, but a good one. And the other thing that I've really been trying to focus people's attention to this past week is the Euro-US dollar, even talking about it in some of the afternoon updates. And the reason being because I was watching this trend line. I was actually short over here, and I believe over here, right? And then because that was a rejection of a big trend line up there. And then, I saw that it was never following through. We started consolidating right over there. Was a great place to get long. Some people got long over here on that retest and resumption. What happens now? What happens now? Because now, let's see, the ECB is actually meeting on Thursday. That's a big risk event for the euro over here. If you look at the 3-day over here, it looks like we're on a magnet, on a target to take out the top over here, put in the beginning of March, where we topped out at about 1.149. it looks like that is where we're headed. And I think that taking, probably we take out the stops up here. We trade up a little bit higher, right? Where are we looking? Could we get as high as 1.155? It looks like that's entirely a possibility on this impulse upwards that we could get up around there. And of course, it's possible to get up into the resistance. That might take some type of whatever happens on the ECB, that would have to be favorable towards the euro. Now, there's a risk going into the ECB meeting, of course, because we do not know what they're going to introduce and say. The big risk there is the relief fund, right? Whether or not they're moving forward with it or having some problems with it. Should you short this? Yeah, I mean, against it, we'll talk about that in 1 second. Into this resistance, I will be looking to sell the euro US dollar. And if you could just, am I on a log chart or something? Maybe I have to go to a bigger time frame. There's a weekly time frame. I don't know. That looks all weird. What's going on? I've lost control of my charts. There we go. We got him back. All right. This trend line over there, that upper trend line over there, this is a big deal. And you can see every time we've come into that trend line, that has been the high. If we come back into this trend line, that's resistance until it breaks to the upside. I'm looking for that to break. And when I say I'm looking for that to break, I'm looking to sell that resistance for sure, big time, unless it breaks at that point. If that resistance breaks at that point, something structurally has changed. The euro could be appreciating substantially versus the dollar. Could we come back up into this area over here at 1.25? Of course. But right now, I'd be selling that. Right now, I'm looking to take my profits on the euro US dollar, where I'm looking to take some of my first profits from my entry. And I'm going to be waiting here for a breakout of this level, right? And as we break above that level, I don't know if there's any overhead resistance or not, because that's the resistance. I think the big resistance, the one that price might have trouble getting past, is somewhere around 1.155, right? So that's where I'll be looking to take some partial profit. And ultimately, my take profit goal is up towards the resistance over here. That is higher. Again, I think that would need some type of favorable push from the ECB in order to play out like that. But why do you believe that the US dollar will be weak during the US elections? So, by the way, we have Congress coming back to work. It's nice that they get the summers off, isn't it? Right? You're elected for Anyway, let's not get into that. But listen, people are running out of benefits. People are running out of benefits, and people cannot feed themselves. People are not returning to work. We're seeing further lockdowns. We're going to need more stimulus. That has to be the first order of business. At least it has to become some political hot football, at least, right? Because there's going to be, a strong division on either side about how they want to go ahead and give that money to the people and which people they want to give it to. But there will be some form of stimulus coming through very soon. That is going to weaken the dollar. There was an amazing comment on the channel about it's not the fact that Amazon's trading at $3,000. It's the fact that people think that that's more attractive than when Amazon was trading at $2,000 before they expanded the balance sheet by $4 trillion, hence diluting the value of Amazon. So even though the price goes up, QE, stocks go up, Fed's printing, stocks go up, but the purchasing power, the value is decreasing. That is why gold today needs to be such an important part of your portfolio, as Bitcoin as well. So wherever that came from, here we are today. I forgot what that tangent was about. I forgot, why is the US dollar going to weak? And then after that, it looks like we're also going to have further action also. And that's not going to be the last stimulus. That's just going to be the next stimulus. We're talking about infrastructure spending, right? I saw a proposal by Vice President Biden talking about a $2 trillion clean energy spending program. There's going to be a lot more stimulus not only in the immediate future, but near future, including perhaps from the Fed, who will need to come to the rescue of the markets again. Weaker dollar looks like it's in play. We're not seeing any problems with dollar liquidity as we saw it, which caused the crisis. We're actually seeing central banks being able to repay dollars. I have this up here, the central banks buy another 40 tons of gold. And just to get a quick look at all of that delicious looking gold over there, you know, the reason I say that is because there was a dollar liquidity problem. People needed dollars. They weren't even buying gold early this year at all. They couldn't buy gold. Russia wasn't added to its gold reserves. Surely China wasn't. No one was, adding to their gold reserves. They were just trying to hold on to dollars. That's changing, right? Now people are not having as hard of time getting a hold of dollars. Is that going to happen again? Of course, right? But when? We'll see. When is the Fed going to buy Bitcoin? I don't think so. All right, here we go. Let's see what else is going on today. I wanted to just focus in on here. I don't know if you've seen the subliminal hints or not. My focus on the euro, US dollar, my focus on the US dollar, Mexican peso. I hope you see my focus here on Bitcoin, gold, silver, the equity markets. Again, as far as targets right now, we're not looking at targets. Right now, we're looking at a way to get into this. This is now going to be after a breakout is confirmed, a pullback, and then after the next impulse upwards, that's when we're going to be looking here for the equity markets. I'm seeing the Japanese yen, right, moderately strong today. Here's the versus the Swiss franc. Swiss franc weakest though. Look at that, Japanese yen taking some. Let's step back for a second. This is pretty strong resistance over here, right? This is pretty strong resistance over here at 114.42. As we pull back right now, clear uptrend over here, Swiss franc versus Japanese yen. You could see going into the crisis, the yen was the strongest, as it always is. But now, coming out of that, we're seeing the Swiss franc appreciate. Be interesting to see whether or not this should be right now, if traders should be looking to buy off support here at another run towards the resistance at 114.42. Euro US dollar. By the way, thanks for all of the likes. They absolutely do help support the channel. They do help this video get shown to others. I just want to say thank you because I appreciate that. Euro Australian dollar. Now, if you had a breakout over here of this trend line, over here, you've tested it, came up into the resistance, or now pulled back. This is support, right? Are you a buyer over here of the euro versus Australian dollar? Australian dollar the strongest today, right? That was just today. We've pulled back into support, right? Is that picking a bottom? Pretty close to it. But if you zoom out, you know, that's a support. You could buy it. The trend line is what opened up the upside to us. It was the break of this trend line, which gave the possibility of taking buys over here. Is that a trade that you want right now? I don't know. The euro is pretty strong. But the Australian dollar also, right, in this risk-on environment. So watching what's unfolding, but staying away from that. Here on the euro Canadian dollar, what's going on? Nice, huge breakout here, right? Euro versus Canadian dollar. We've had the first pullback over here and now starting to make highs. Do you think that this is going to be a continued runaway breakout? It could be if the euro, I mean, again, you have the ECB meeting soon, right? Not a trade that I'm interested in taking. I'd rather wait. If perhaps maybe the euro reacts adversely to the ECB and there's a slight sell-off in the euro, coming back into this area of support now, that would be more attractive for me. Euro Swiss franc, look at that move. Wow. Descending wedge. Boom. Right into the resistance, right? That's, wow. That's pretty cool. I mean, I know a lot of people, or some people were asking questions yesterday when we broke out, right? Came back in, wicked into the broken resistance as confirming it as support, and then resumed up. I don't know if that came up in the training session. I don't know if that came up on the live stream here. I don't know if that came up in the Telegram group, but we talked about that yesterday, and that was the place that was for the valid entry right there on that bar right there. Screamed into the resistance. That's pretty exciting to see over there. I wish I was a part of that. I was not on that. Euro, British pound over here. This looks interesting here after now having this orderly pullback, right? On the Euro British pound. This looks like a place possibly now to look for a resumption back upwards, get long here on the Euro versus the pound. Again, as we talk about Euro pairs, keep in mind ECB on Thursday. That's coming up. So what are we looking at? What would a nice pullback over here? I could see nice resistance right there. You see it then as nice support. That's a big level, right? A pullback into there would be a nice place to look to regain a position out of there. Good risk to reward over there on the Euro British pound. So that's one to start watching for me. Euro Japanese yen off this morning. You're seeing that that yen pretty strong today. Euro is also strong, right? You could see that Euro Japanese yen slightly changed, but down a little bit with that strong euro. So that yen today, which has been really weak of late, definitely showing a little bit of strength today. Most likely not the sign of risk off. Are you seeing risk off come into the markets? So far today, this morning, equity markets, which open up in 4 minutes, are up healthy, right? Could we see another reversal? We've already seen 2 reversals this week. Sure, we could see another one, but markets looking good and the dollar looking weak. So interesting. Just trying to get my read on the market so I know where I want to focus myself. So is this a resistance to sell into? If you fall back here on the Euro US dollar, this is definitely a downtrend. Are you looking at selling this possible rejection of this resistance over here at 122.65? Not me. I'm actually long on the Euro Japanese yen, but yeah, I mean, not me. What would a breakdown look like, right? Because this trend line, which is just here, is a little bit of a guide. I'm not really focused on that trend line. Let me delete that for you then. I don't want to confuse anyone. I think I need a sip of tea. That was almost a half hour of straight talking without pause. All right. Euro, Japanese yen. No breath. Yeah, it's good conversation going on. I'm following the conversation over there. That's awesome. Euro, Japanese yen. Yeah, I'm looking to continue to buy any pullbacks into support, looking for a break of this resistance level right above us right here. If you get, a break of this resistance right here, overcoming this down price bar over here, that could be an entry for someone. It has to be the right session though. It has to be the right session though, right? Let's see what else we're looking at. Euro, New Zealand dollar, kind of no man's land. Kind of no man's land for me. Pound, Australian dollar, right? Another case of sell the resistance right over there. What's happening over here? I note the Australian dollar is pretty firm today, and the pound is holding up almost unchanged. Pretty nice fight being put on there by the pound, but there's nothing to do, right? Because the entry was up here. Pound, Canadian dollar. See, the pound's a little strong today. I like that. Coming into resistance, right? I actually was watching that one. I didn't want it, but I saw the setup over there, right? Off of the support, coming into the resistance now. Now, let's see whether or not we get a break above. If you get a break above, there'll be more opportunity to continue to pile into that trade, and that could be a good one. Maybe the pound is beginning to firm up a little bit. I could see over here on the pound Swiss franc, a little bit lower highs. Now, of course, this type of price action could lead to what? A continuation to another leg down, right? Because it's a little bit of a rising channel over there. Break above outside of that range though, and that's nullified. And then we're looking at higher highs there on the pound Swiss franc. I'm not really looking to trade against the Swiss franc at this moment, but watching what's developing. Pound Japanese yen, it's kind of lagging, right? You could just see the like rejection, and then since the rejection, it's still having trouble, right? So you're looking for another leg down here. Are we seeing the Japanese yen actually firm up, or is this headed? I don't have a read on this, or is it headed, back to take out that last week's high and perhaps break above it? I don't know pound Japanese yen at all. And as well as all of the pound pairs. I was looking at the pound pairs yesterday during Asia while I was doing my analysis. And the only thing that was really set up in the market were pound pairs, but I didn't have a read where I wanted to be involved on any of them. So speaking of US dollar Swiss franc, the reason I bring it up is because today we're seeing that weak US dollar, but the Swiss franc is weaker today. Something to take note of over here as we're now holding that support, right? Rising up, looking for any resistance to sell into. What's the further path here? US dollar Swiss franc looks like it's in a pretty strong downtrend, waiting for it to break and make a leg down from here. Sell off resistance right now looks like the plan over there. US dollar Mexican peso, we kind of briefly looked at this morning, and again, the whole premise here is are we gonna continue to see equity markets rise? Fed's printing, liquidity is there. It's got to go somewhere. Are we seeing the US dollar continue to weaken? Yep. I think I'm looking, until proven wrong, I'm looking for the US dollar to continue to weaken. What does that mean? Well, Mexican peso is a nice play on that. Highly correlated to the equity markets. You're collecting the nice swamp on the downside. Are we going to be testing? Well, that's interesting as well, though. The equity markets have taken out their June highs, and the US dollar Mexican peso has not taken out its June low, right? Is this going to play catch up if we get a breakout? When I say if we get a breakout, like we're on the verge of breaking out here, but this could be a rejection right here, right? We're all ready for a rejection here until we get a breakout, for sure, right? Most breakouts fail. That's why we don't trade them. I was going to say most fail. Most pull back. I should have said. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Sam's wondering about Canada. Canada. Canada is looking good. The Canadian economy is looking pretty solid right now. Well, I mean, I don't know how much coronavirus has to do with the state of the economy yet. We'll find out. I simply don't know. I'm interested, by the way. So you guys, anyone who's been reading up on it has an opinion, an insightful opinion that could help. Is the progress we've seen in the vaccines anything to be hopeful about, or is it too soon to tell, or is the other news that we're seeing about antibodies disappearing within 2 months of asymptomatic people mean that vaccines just simply won't be able to work? I'm really interested in that. If anyone knows. Jordan, living up in Canada, how's the economy? How's things looking? Oil's rebounded to, I don't know what Canadian crude is at, but oil's WTI is trading up at $40 right now. Slight reprieve for the Canadian economy, but I'm sure things are tough up north right now, huh? How are they doing? Fake news to prop up the markets. Only when phase 3 trials are passed. I don't know how far away. Shane, you know how far away that is? It's pretty important. I know that we could get some good information here. That's why I ask. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't live in Canada, but that's what I was under the impression of. So is the Canadian dollar an attractive currency for me right now? It's not. Either is the Mexican peso. But by the way, the Mexican economy is probably way worse than the Canadian economy. For sure, it is. So U.S. I don't know how we got onto that. Let's check out what's going on here with the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, and you are seeing more battle consolidation here. Interesting to note, Japanese yen is weak. It's firming up today. Firming up today. So it's not really doing too much damage versus that weak dollar. They continue to battle it out. There continues to be no trade. You see how over here we were attacking. Over here we attacked. It was a failed breakout. Boom. And I've kept everyone out of that because there's nothing going on. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Wow. See, I wasn't interested in playing this off this support over here simply because the New Zealand dollar was lagging so much. It's playing catch up today. We're seeing that rotation, it seems like, out of the leaders into the laggers today, helping them catch up. Boom, 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 boom. How many Russians are here? I spent a couple of weeks in Moscow. Some of the most beautiful and warm people I've ever met. It's like, you think like Italians around the dinner table are really close, and Russians, they like bring out the best of the best, whatever they have, put it on the table for the guest. Beautiful people. So we've worked through our way through every pair, I think, except really a few more over here. The pound US dollar being one of them. Look at all these levels up here that we had in focus. Let me get rid of them because they're not in focus any longer. And it's just murking up my charts over here. I've been also staying away from the pound also, and that continues. So for whatever reason, that's what it is. Again, here's a clean pullback into the support, a clear resumption off, taking out, or this doesn't belong here, coming into the next resistance over here where we've had trouble back also early in June. It looks like we're at a nice important point in the markets. It's why we took profits or signal taking profits yesterday. And that's because we are either on the verge of another leg up or we're going to be rejected over here, and we'll have other opportunity here to lean in and pick up and build that long position up at lower levels off of support. The markets are kind of coasting today. I'm interested to see, for real, if we get this further breakdown here on the dollar. If we do, that could definitely lead to the leg up here on the equity markets. What's gold doing here? It's consolidating, right? So if we do get that big push against the dollar, maybe gold is going to make another leg up over here. Are we towards overbought levels that people should be concerned, right? Well, we've spoke about taking profit, right? This thing has so much further to go. It is so much further that it could possibly go. Continue just to be buy off pullbacks into support. FX at the moment is a little, because people should be pushing Euro US dollar. People should be pushing Mexican peso. Other pairs not following through. For example, Euro Japanese yen still in this trade, getting caught up in this resistance, not doing anything. I'm not moving my stop loss to break even, not taking profit, giving it time and room to see if it pushes above this resistance here. This is the first area that I'm looking to take profit into this resistance over here. And then that will be just the first place looking to take profit. So that trade has room, but not really following through yet, getting caught up in the resistance over there. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, similar. Even with that strong Australian dollar today, yen is bid today and still above the support over here. It's just not really following through yet. It's not following through. Similar to the Euro Japanese yen, I'm looking not at doing anything yet, including moving the stop loss. I'm waiting for a take profit up towards this second resistance out. And then we'll see what happens if we get that. Weak dollar is a backwind for gold. What's really interesting too, Kips, but is palladium following gold, silver, and copper? Is palladium also trading at or near highs? Um, the thing about that is that when the dollar was also strong, remember gold was also outbidding the dollar this year. Remember that. That just seems to be the new world we live in. I need a sip of some matcha. So let me pause 1 second, please. Here, U.S. equity markets have been open for 10 minutes and holding on to about a 1% gains thus far. Yeah, sanctions were signed yesterday by the president on China. I didn't see any market reaction, Miguel. That's really good that you pointed that out. I didn't see any market reaction. That's exactly what I looked for. It's always know what the news is and then see how the market reacts to it. Do I see Connors has a question about if we see gold dropping at all or only growing with the US dollar getting weaker? Again, I've seen it's more gold is more like as interest rates around the world go negative and there's more negative yielding debt, gold rises, right? Because that was rising as the dollar was strengthening. When I say the dollar was strengthening, if you go back to just earlier in the year, if you look at January, right? January 1st, 2020, the dollar went from 96.37 all the way go before the crisis. In February, it went up all the way to 99. And then we'll check back in a second as it went up further to 102. But what gold did during that same period, going back to January 1st of there we go, 2020, gold was trading at 1530, and then fast forward to when gold made that high at 98, February 21st. Gold was also trading up, over $150 over here at 1674. So with that strong dollar, gold was rising better than the dollar. Look at this strong dollar, and gold was rising against the dollar. So weak dollar, strong dollar. I mean, for me, this is a great environment for gold. And I think more and more people really need to start owning that in their portfolio. I think more and more people are beginning to understand that. And yeah, I think it continues to be buy off supports. Do I think we could get another 15% pullback? That probably is the question. Because during the crisis, we saw a 14% pullback, right? Well, do you think we're going to get a 7% pullback? I do not. A 7% pullback, that would put us all the way, just for perspective, back down to 1700, right? There's a support at 1723. I do not think that's going to get filled. That support, it would be a 5% pullback. I don't think we're going to see a 5% pullback on gold. And if you go back to maybe 3%, right? Do I think we get a 3% pullback? Yeah. There's no question that we're going to get 3% pullbacks. If you go back to over here, this was a big one. Actually, this was a big one, right? That was a 5% pullback, right? Now, since then, gold has now gone on to make new highs. You can see the pullbacks have been getting less and less. So could you plan for a 5% pullback on gold, taking us back into the support? I would be a buyer there. No questions about it. A 5% pullback into that support over here, I would be a buyer there of gold. Similar to Bitcoin, gold's a lot different. This was a 14% drawdown. Bitcoin took a 64% drawdown in there during that same period. Bitcoin took a 61% drawdown during that same period. Bitcoin's a lot more volatile than gold. It's a new asset class, full of price discovery, trying to take market cap. So what you're going to see is just larger swings on gold, both to the upside and downside. We all have looked at a multitude of times. A 30% drawdown on Bitcoin in a bull market is the norm. So we're looking to be buyers there. On gold, I think between 3 and 5% pullbacks. be looking to be a buyer during this bull market phase. Silver has steeper pullbacks. Silver we expect to outperform to the upside, but also will have much steeper pullbacks along the way. And you can see the drawdown here was 38% compared to gold's 14% drawdown, right? So on silver, are you looking for more of like a pullback into the next support over here of 10%, right? For sure, if you're looking for 5%, you're looking for 10 to 15 or 10 to 12% pullbacks on silver. How we got onto the precious metals, I don't know, but I didn't have to read your comment to find out whether or not palladium, where it's trading right now, I'm hoping that it is also making new all-time highs. They are priced in US dollars, right? Of course, well, let me go back and see. All commodities are helped weak by, yeah. So one of the things to be really to take note, there was a survey of fund managers, and commodities over the last month were the third most purchased thing, right? Everyone's looking for that weaker dollar for that rise in commodities across the board. Now, obviously, I am positioning myself to what I believe is going to be the greatest beneficiary of all of that, and that is Bitcoin. But you are seeing commodities rise. Just take note that gold, which I do separate from silver, gold I group in a way towards Bitcoin. The similarities between gold and Bitcoin, in a way, are shared more than between gold and silver, and in many more ways, gold and silver share many more attributes than of course gold and Bitcoin. One of them being that they are both physical, tangible elements that are produced in nature, right? But I'm looking here for well, I lost my train of thought. That obviously happens from time to time. So I'll go back on that. Thoughts on Litecoin, by the way? No, I don't. Litecoin has the possibility of adding Mimble Wimble, which is a privacy feature. And if that's implemented on Litecoin all of a sudden has a great use case and utility, and that's privacy. And I could see Litecoin really appreciating on that news. But then just keep in mind that could then also be implemented on the Bitcoin blockchain if it's first implemented. Anything that's implemented on any other blockchain could be implemented on Bitcoin. It's a question of whether or not Bitcoin wants to go ahead with that. Monero already is a privacy coin, right? Monero is already a privacy coin. And a break above 70 is really going to set this things off. This is the first breakout or down we were looking for. This was a critical point when we were watching crypto for the next move, and it was to the upside, right? A breakout over here could really set off these altcoins. But we've seen, as we said, I don't follow the cryptocurrencies and the altcoin market, but we've been very clear that we believe that Linked and Tezos were going to lead the altcoin cycle over here, and that's happening. I'm not involved in it. Full disclosure, by the way, I'm not involved in it. I don't own either one of them, but I don't follow it, but just from the buzz, it's so funny with all the fake news and programming we have put out through all the media. You learn to be able to read through all of and distinguish all the. I don't know. Here we are. What is this called? I don't even have EOS. They got some heavyweights behind it. This is the company that raised $4 billion on their token sale. They've yet to really come through with anything. But they have some people have been in the industry for a long time, done some pretty substantial things, including the creator of Tether is a part of the EOS team. Could this thing have potential to really moon? As does XRP, which you all know. I'm also not a fan of XRP, but there's no chance that Ripple could rip XRP. And I expect that's going to happen. This also looks like it's consolidating now back down into this area. Look, you can see the support is here, right? And I'm looking for this to really rip into this next area of resistance over here at 21 cents. A lot of people looking for Ripple to go to $1. I don't, it could happen for sure. It could go higher than that. And same thing with Ethereum. There's a lot going on in the DeFi space, decentralized finance. It's taking place on the Ethereum blockchain. You are seeing, which I don't really understand, some Ethereum tokens have a larger market cap than Ethereum itself. But I think Ethereum is gonna really moon over here for sure. I think on this next altcoin cycle over here, and could it go back to $1,000? I do very much think so, and higher than that. But Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Boom, 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 boom. Thanks, John. That's awesome. I am definitely and continue to be the biggest fan of BlockFi. Also, really important for mentioning and noting. You know, uh, during the when we position ourselves out of Bitcoin, when it's time for us to say, all right, the cycle is ending. It'll be a big deal. Like I'll be focusing on it all the time because it'll be the most important thing. As has been, if you've noticed, how's it been a firm hand in trying to get people to understand the opportunity in Bitcoin, or clear, just want clarity so people can make up their own mind by having the research presented to them. When I do my research, I want to share it with you, right? So BlockFi, as we're positioning ourselves out of Bitcoin, what are we going to position ourselves into? Will it be the US dollar, or will the dollar at that point just really probably be in a position where it looks like it's going to be continue to weaken? Are we seeing a diversification out of the US dollar 18 months from now? And that looks like we don't want to hold dollars. Do we want to hold euros at that point? Probably not. Fiat's fiat. Gold might be an option. Maybe you want to position yourself into physical gold, meaning gold is going to hold that purchasing power better. Even if gold came off, it's still holding that purchasing power way better than Bitcoin will be at that point. Or maybe you do want to hold dollars in BlockFi and get that 8.6 interest rate. That's probably what I will do, right? You have, for those that do not have large trading accounts right now, large FX accounts, by having an account right now in Bitcoin, as you're learning the skill, trying to be able to go ahead, produce a 20-30% yearly return, having this next 18 months, any money, perhaps, something to think about on your end, putting some money into Bitcoin right now, and then 18 months, all of a sudden, now you have a significant trading account, one that you could actually really start seeing some type of tangible difference in your income on a monthly basis. So now's the time to think about it, because Bitcoin is trading at $9,000. If you're thinking about, well, could I get in at 82 or 81? I hope so. And I hope if we get a pullback, if you're waiting for 85 and we get a pullback to 85, I hope you're smart enough to buy then, and not all of a sudden think that maybe you're going to get in at 67. I don't think those things are happening. I'm aware and looking for a possible pullback, and it could be, roughly 30% at 80 time. That would take me down, right towards the 7,500 level. Is that possible? Of course. Is it probable? Well, I think it's more probable that we take out the 10,400 level before any of that happens. I don't think we get filled at 8,200 anymore. 85 still remains a possibility. How long have we been live? Almost an hour. Let's check out what the equity markets are doing. Yeah, of course of course the interest rates can change and are subject to change. And what the rate is today might not be 18 months from now, right? Of course. Um, that goes without saying in everything, because rates are moving and variable. Amazing how many people you're seeing take about another pullback, right? Yep. And that's the thing about markets and Bitcoin. Maybe, well, in hindsight, people, picture, we're in December of 2020, right? Just December, and we're trading up around $19,000, $18,000, $20,000. I don't think so, but maybe. People are going to be like, man, I should have saw that coming, right? Everyone's going to be like, I should have known. And again? There's still time to act between 20 and 30,000 and continue to accumulate, right? We're looking here at six figures on Bitcoin by December of 2021. At least that is my price target on it. And I hope that as many people are able to participate as possible. Why, of course, understanding your own risks, right? Understanding your own risks, not investment advice. But I have tried to get. I have an email that I drafted to my family, my brothers and sisters, mom, and Bitcoin was trading at like $3,500, and I was telling them this is the time to buy Bitcoin, and I never sent it to them because it's like controversial, trying to like, especially going back a year and a half ago, to try to get people to understand and buy Bitcoin. Like, some people get triggered. People get triggered by the darndest things today. It's crazy. I'm zoomed in over here. Let me fix that. Thank you for that update over there. Boom. All right. So equity markets so far trying to break out over here. The June high. This is not yet a breakout, and there's no follow through yet. All right. What's going on with the Dow? Dow slightly leading again. Dow has yet to challenge June highs. Still lagging. Why won't these things stay off my chart? Every time I delete them, they come back. Dow lagging, but catching up, right? Outperforming the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ, if the Dow goes on to make new all-time highs, rest assured NASDAQ will be making new all-time highs with it. But the story is really the dollar over here. Dollar has come down and tested this level our low over here in June, has not broken it, right? So the dollar and the S&P tightly correlated over there. Let's see if the dollar breaks down over here, or if the S&P breaks out over here to bring the other one with it. Is it a double bottom on the DXY over here because we had two touches over here, or on the S&P, right? Is that a double top? Well, maybe I won't know till hindsight, because I'm not trying to trade that as a double bottom by any means. So we have I'm just looking here. At worst, I'm looking for price to retrace back up, to either one of these resistances. I think what happens is that we consolidate and break down further, right? Where would a pullback to be? A very controlled pullback would be towards 96.46, right? And that would make sense. Here we are, Let's see what happens also over the next hour. We could get, or if over the next hour, we could get an extension even down further. So we'll see, but I'm not looking for a double top or double bottom. Never. No, never. I'm looking for the breakout here to the upside, and if we get a breakout, to continue to position long over here. Or I'm looking for a rejection here, and then looking towards the support over at 31.24, and or this trendline support over at 30.86, and or the support here at 30.33, to look for resumptions off and opportunities to buy and pick up S&Ps over here. NASDAQ's trading right off of all-time highs. Dow is the only thing lagging, and the Dow is picking up the last 4 sessions now, right? So, it appears to me that the June highs are the target for the NASDAQ, and that, I give it a good chance of breaking them. So it's, for me, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, hopefully we get the opportunity to see whether or not we see the Dow and the S&P testing all-time highs. Because if we get all three markets, if we got the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P all trading at new all-time highs, then I've talked about it in the past, Dow theory. When you have all three indexes confirming each other and affirming each other, then this thing could keep going. So everyone is so short minded. I've been trying to get everyone post crisis now. As it became clear what was happening here with the equity markets, try to get them on the right side of where the liquidity is and where the funds are. We'll keep track of what's going on with the economy, but so the markets and the economy are two different things. So it appears. So, by the way, here in the live stream and also on Twitter, talking to Jason Williams of Morgan Creek Digital, an investor in BlockFi. I've asked a question about whether or not how secure the funds are on BlockFi and where they get the money to pay these interest, right? Um, so So I'm not certain where. I understand they're able to lend out that cryptocurrency to retail. You could take, if you don't want to sell your Bitcoin, you could take out a loan against your Bitcoin. So they collect interest on that, and they also, I assume their default rate is okay. It's backed by collateral, so they make money on that. They also make money in lending out funds to institutions. Now, I don't understand why institutions would be borrowing money at 12% and or higher. That doesn't make sense to me, which is why I've asked these people these questions. But I do know that they are backed by some pretty big people, mainly Fidelity Investments, $7 trillion Fidelity Investments, who's also backed, right? The exchange, also of ICE, the parent of New York Stock Exchange. They also backed by Coinbase and Gemini. The Winklevoss brothers are backing this. BlockFi uses Gemini's cold storage to protect their funds. So, why I have concerns about having third-party risk, because you don't own the Bitcoin. It's not kept in my own cold storage or hardware storage. It's kept with a third party. That brings risk. You're talking about I can't pronounce this word. I apologize for that. Rehypothecation, which means that they're lending out more than they have. For example, they might say that they have, for every Bitcoin they have, they might be lending out 3 or 10. Just like when you buy stock. When you buy stock, you're not actually owning the stock. It's the same thing. It's these brokers don't own the actual certificate. It's all rehypothecated. Gold which suppresses the price of Bitcoin of gold. Is it possible then that this could be done through Bitcoin? The thing about it is that every January we have the event where everyone claims their Bitcoin off of exchanges, right? So that they know that the exchanges actually have their Bitcoin. You can't do that with gold. That's one of the advantages of Bitcoin. So Bitcoiners have the opportunity of keeping exchanges honest. And a lot of exchanges have gone under because of this. There have been, including that one from Canada. Everyone's familiar with that exchange in Canada that went down, where the founder, faked his death perhaps. But, they went out of business because of this. So BlockFi, I assume, will have their accounting in order. I think BlockFi is just a VC play. There's a lot of venture capital funds in there, and basically, on paper, that company is going to be worth a fortune. Buying GBTC in an already funded taxable account, in addition to holding actual Bitcoin's bad idea, leaving a lot of potential on the table instead of transferring funds and buying more actual Bitcoin. That depends if you're in a retirement account or not, in my opinion. I've purchased GBTC in a Roth IRA. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know why. Thanks for the suggestion, but we've had it. I look around at no one's been bullish as we have, right? So what people were telling me yesterday, you should check out these Elliott Wave guys who have been all over the current price action. Well, So have we. We are every day. Not in a retirement account. I don't know. Then I'm not. Listen, Nick. I don't know. Um, Boom, boom, boom. All right, S&P. Let's check in what's going on over here. Still holding on to that breakout. Um, yeah, just trying to. I mean, I want to do my best, Nick, but I'm not the person for that, right? I could share my opinion, but maybe someone else knows better than me. That's for sure. I'm not going to give my, what's that? S&DW. What? I'm not following what's going on there. S&EW's True Story Man. That's why. Oh, I got you now. It's hard for me to keep up with the comments. Sorry about that. I get you now over there. Yeah, man, we have been on the right side of the market. It's glad you're here with us, and I hope together we stay there. That's the point. Yeah, this is great. Andre, as a fellow New Yorker, I'm naturally weary of getting my pocket picked. Always keep my wallet in my front pockets. Huh? Why add extra risk and loss due to rehypothecation? Why not just go with the biggest exchange? So, Andre, what is the biggest exchange? I don't honestly know today what's the biggest exchange in crypto. I mean, I know, for example, that most people probably would feel safe with Binance and keeping a small amount of their funds on Binance. Personally, I have Bitcoin that's kept in a hardware wallet, cold storage, but I also have money on exchanges, but that's money that I could afford to lose. I don't want to lose it, but I understand that there's a risk that it could be lost. BlockFi to me is a pretty safe. I don't think BlockFi is going out of business anytime soon. They're well capitalized. They have a good business. I don't know if they're making money yet, but their growth allows for how the VC works, right? It's all priced in growth. Look at WeWork, which was, how much was WeWork worth, right? On paper before it came down. I don't think BlockFi is actually a bad business like WeWork. I'm sure it's a good business. I'm using it. I will continue to actually use it. I am looking forward to having a significant amount of money, at the end of this bull cycle on BlockFi alone, and just collecting that interest, right? Living just off the interest you collect off BlockFi. How about that? Then you go ahead. You got what else you got going on, right? There you go. Yeah, I'm not interested, and that's you're on the verge of spam right now, right? So you're on the verge of spam right now. So I'm not appreciate it though. Biggest spot exchanges. So Binance, I would definitely lean towards Binance myself. Definitely Kraken. I would avoid Coinbase. I would definitely avoid Huobi. I would definitely avoid Bitfinex and Bithumb. Man, they're impossible to get KYC'd with. Oh, yeah, we got like. Yeah, this became a crypto chat. This should we're entering now the time when everyone needs to understand what's going on over in Finance 2.0, over in the crypto sector. And look, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to everything that happens during this bull market over here. All the new developments. It's clear to me you're the man. Blah 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 blah. Hey man, Jay, thanks for that. That's beautiful, man. I appreciate that. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, VeChain I'm not familiar with. So I've heard of VeChain. I've never pulled up a chart of VeChain. Let's see if we can find it. Wow, look at that thing. Mooning. Let's look at a bigger chart over here. Wow. Wow, I'm not familiar with the project at all. So when it comes, I mean, crypto's funny, right? I had a childhood friend who was not involved in the markets whatsoever. Unbeknownst to me, during 2016, 2017, he was trading altcoins, turned a few $1,000s into a significant amount of money. He wound up giving it all back in the bear market, but do you just trade technically off these altcoins? like these altcoins, they trade perfect technically. We've looked earlier in the chat this morning. We were looking at, I think it was linked or Tezos, and we were looking at the pullback to support the resumption off. All right, perfect. Exactly what we do here together. Do you just trade these things not knowing what their companies are? See, I can't do that. Even when it comes to stocks, like I used to do my research, I read balance sheets, I understand their business, what's going on, even when I'm trading stocks, right? So do you have to understand these companies to trade them, or do you just trade the altcoins? And is it like hot potato? As long as at the end of the day you're not holding that, I don't know. Oh no, Gary, we haven't seen any type of parabolic rise in crypto or anything close to that, in my opinion, or anything close to that. We've just seen signs of an awakening bull market. But this type of move in crypto, that's not parabolic. So we're gonna see some parabolic moves though, right? What about Ethereum? What about Ethereum? There's a 3-day chart. I mean, what feed do you need to use to go back to Ethereum when it had its ICO? I don't know. Let me try Bitstamp. Bitstamp usually goes back pretty far. I'm not finding Ethereum on Bitstamp. That's ETA BCH. Well. Anyway, I like that Ethereum. No, you listen again. We just talked about the fact that is it possible that you just trade altcoins, not really caring about what the company is and what they do, as long as at the end of the day you're just trying to increase your account and not really concerned about holding the token. I mean, Bitcoin Cash is an absolute scam, and there's nothing more to say about that. So if anyone's holding Bitcoin Cash, I mean, you still have time, right? There's no hash power behind it. There's no hash power behind it. All the hash power behind Bitcoin. So anyway. So where are we at today? Markets are still maintaining and holding on to these gains. I want to get another look around to see what's going on. Let me get off these 8-hour charts. We got like some type of that variation onto crypto. How many people are trading crypto right now? How many people are trading altcoins, participating and getting started here as this alt season is just getting to go? We've talked about for a long time, that as alt season begun, that would be the time to get more focused in on it. My son is a small bit, so Dennis, this is an important question. So do you just want to talk about that really quick while we're here on this conversation over here? So Coinbase is really simple and easy to buy Bitcoin with. If you go back to the bull market in 2017, Coinbase was the easiest way to buy Bitcoin, especially in the States. You just go ahead, you connect your bank account, make an ACH payment, and then buy the Bitcoin. So Coinbase, though, today is not, BlockFi is much easier today to buy Bitcoin off of. You just send a wire same day, it posts an hour or two later, and then you could buy the Bitcoin and then transfer it out if you want. On Coinbase, you have to wait a week before you're allowed to transfer it out. But the biggest thing about Coinbase is that they hired a blockchain. No, what's it called? A chain analysis company. Someone who reads the blockchain, and basically, Coinbase is just the Facebook of crypto. So you understand that if you use Facebook to tracking everything you do at all times, if that app is on your phone, they're privy to everything you're doing, whether you're on Facebook or not. It's the same thing with Coinbase. So Coinbase is just the Facebook of crypto. I would stay away. I would stay away. Yeah, that's the worst thing about New York. That's, they're Binance also, right? Is Binance available in New York? Is margin trading available in New York? Yeah, I'm a big fan of. I've been buying on BlockFi because it's very easy to do. You just send a same day wire. and then a couple hours later it posts and you buy it. So it's a good one. Oh, Reza all over what he's been we've seen. So hold on a second. This is versus the dollar, by the way. I mean, it's beautiful to see these moves here on these altcoins. It's a shame that people were not aware of the 4-year cycle in cryptocurrency, and that a lot of people all through 2018, all through 2019 were buying these altcoins. I wish that they were more. We did some research a long time ago on Twitter. On my Twitter, I did a Twitter thread about when the next alt season would be and why, based off the halving. I want to see a lot of people make some good money during this bull market coming up in crypto and hold on to it this time. I want to see people definitely take advantage of the markets. You'll if you haven't already learned, if you haven't already learned, there comes a point in time when the difficult part is not making money. You'll learn how to do that. The difficult part then is learning how to hold on to your money and then continue to grow it, right? There's an expression, or if there's not an expression, I'm going to tell it to you. It's that the first million's easy to make. It's the second million that's the hardest. Does Robin... Oh, I don't know about that. That's a good question. I'm not sure if Robinhood, like Square, right? Because Square, you could transfer it out. Could you transfer Bitcoin out of Robinhood is the question I'm interested in. Yeah, but otherwise, probably not, right? But same thing with, TD Ameritrade. When you're buying GBTC, what are you buying? I don't... Tony's asking, have you seen the blue dot on the hash ribbons indicator for Bitcoin? I don't. Do you have anything I could search for in order to find that? I'd be interested in finding that. I did pull. I'll come across, and I think it's the only bookmark I might have. No, it's not on this. It's not on this browser. I will find it, and it is like a rainbow chart of Bitcoin. And it talks about like when's a good time to buy, when's a good time to buy, when's a good time to sell. And it really aligns perfectly within the 4-year cycle that I watch. It was a really good and helpful chart. I'll look for that for tomorrow. But Tony, if you know what to search, let me know. You can't transfer from Robinhood. That's interesting right now. Even still, so what? Good that more people are being exposed to the availability of Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin, in my mind, does not have to worry about any type of Wall Street shenanigans because people could just reclaim their own Bitcoin at any point. And these companies that actually did not have the funds they said they had, they're going to be out of business. The answer is no. So where are we at? Markets maintaining their bid over here. You could see that. Good afternoon. I'm going to take a look around over here. I want to see what the euro is doing now, coming off its earlier highs. Dollar is, let's see what the dollar's doing. Finding an area so far of support. We're looking for a pullback to somewhere around 96.47 as being completely controlled. And a resumption off of that pullback would then not only bring possibly this into focus, but down for... We have the ECB on Thursday. Is there a possibility that today winds up being more of a consolidation session? Consolidating these gains that we're in right now, right? Are we looking, instead of a breakout over here, are we going to see just a consolidation similar to like the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar? You could see after it broke out over here how it consolidated those gains for a little while before breaking out over here. So is that what we're lining up for? At least going in to tomorrow's session. Is tomorrow's New York session actually going to be where we get a little bit of volatility back? I don't know, right? Just trying to put it all together right now. Let's see how the US dollar Mexican peso is doing. All right, everything is kind of holding steady right now. Markets are holding steady right now. Not really in my mind. I don't see the waves, and I haven't yesterday. Searching out there, not there's the opportunity is not there right now. Hoping something sets up sometime, before Friday. I mean, ETFs. I'm not. I mean, I'm more of a fan of investing in the indexes, right? S&P, right? Ultimate trend following instrument. It's rebalanced all the time. So what happens is that companies that are growing and making money are added to it and weighted more heavily, and then companies that are, losing money, they're taken out. So it's kind of interesting. And then you have on top of that, you have well, we're following here the liquidity, and it's expanding, and we're looking out forward. We're looking at the possible $2 trillion plan by Biden in order to go to clean energy. We're looking at a possible infrastructure project. Similarly, $2 trillion by Trump. We're looking either way at a lot more money being spent. Um, so S&P, long S&P. Right now, that's a good question. And right now, we're seeing the S&P so far consolidating. Dollar, I mean, again, the dollar's not really pulling back yet, right? We need to see if we traded above 96.50. All right, then or specifically, I mean, it gets 96.70. But if 96.70, this last impulse down, if we trade above there, then we can say, all right, the dollar's now pulling back. But right now, this is a very controlled move. The move is headed downwards. We took the first look at this area, right? We haven't broken yet. This could still break down, and I'm leaning towards the breakdown personally, right? Are we coming down and we testing down at 95? That looks like the next move. If we do break up over here, right, then we're looking to sell this resistance and or that one. But at the same time, I mean, the S&P is maintaining just hugging that resistance. Order entry question: do you cancel unfilled entry orders before the Asian session start, or just leave them open? No, I'm not. After the London session closes, I'm no longer picking up trades. Yes, trading the last couple hours of New York are perfectly acceptable. There are just very few trade entries that actually signal at that time of day. I believe one of them might be the pound Swiss franc yesterday, right? Don't quote me on that, but that might be one of the right here. I think this triggered at the end of New York over there, because I remember watching it and remember saying to myself, that looks like a really good entry. I just don't like to enter at this time of day. So I don't have any open orders going into Asian. I place orders as Asia is getting ready to close, placing them to trigger during the London session. Yep, they just add zeros. I have the worst experience with TD Ameritrade. It's so. I mean, I've placed countless orders on countless platforms, and I have trouble on TD Ameritrade. Pending orders, how do you cancel them? How do you even place the order? It's absolutely horrific experience, kind of like US banks. Oh, that is interesting. On TradingView, you add the indicator called hash ribbons. Let's check it out over here. We got hash ribbons. Is that right? I'm not seeing it. Oh, there we go. All right, so blue dot, breakout. Blue dot, breakout. Oh, I don't see any. Is that a blue dot over there? I'm looking at the S&P. Sorry about that. Let me get back on there. Buy, 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 buy. That was a great entry. That was a good entry down over there, right? Mine's on Twitter. On the Twitter, if you go back to this date, you see that's when I said we will be trading at $8,500 within 3 months. Right? Go back to the first week of January 2019 on my Twitter, and I posted that we will be trading at 8,500 within 3 months. And then I'm looking. There's no exits, huh? It's just buys. I want to see one more, Tony. I'm looking for the next buy down over here. That was a fantastic one also, right? I would love to see, Tony, we'll check out in 1 second, how it compares to the true trend BTC, which is picking up those same exact signals. Does it give red signals when to get out? I guess you get out of, the exit signal is not that great. What's interesting to note, though, Tony, is that we just gave a buy signal, right? Of course, we gave that one. It didn't go anywhere. That was still a great opportunity to buy. That was a great opportunity to buy. We were looking there as we regained that trend line to also be buyers. And here's another one. That's a good signal because those signals have really worked out. Yep. Lots setting up over there. Daily time frame. Thanks for that. My Twitter is, let me pull it up. See, when they ask to confirm my phone number, do you want these ads? I'm not into all that stuff, right? At all. Let me go ahead and throw it into the chat. Yeah, you could also buy GBTC. Yeah, they're a little late, right? They're a little late because the bull market's already getting going. What is nerve? I don't know what that is, Frank. I've never heard of that before. All right. Thank you, Reza. I appreciate that. I have to check out what the photo is or if I should update it. Might be time to update the photo. Thank you, brother. Yeah, so what market's now actually maintaining nicely. Taking another look at the highs over here. I'm so interested in the next half hour of trading because I want to see what type of impulse we have. Everyone's always looking for reversals. Everyone's always looking for reversals, right? But that's not how you want to program yourself. Get on the other side. Gary's having a problem. If anyone has any type of similar experience solution that his charts are not updating for price, how to kickstart it. And Gary, maybe you do want to restart your machine though. Maybe you do want to restart your machine. Thanks, David. Sometimes each live stream, as you all know, is always different depending on what the flow is, right? We just kind of go with the flow. By the way, is it annoying not being able to see all of these, the full price on the watch list, or is just seeing the beginning symbol enough? Kind of interested in that to know. Let's check that out right now on the pound US dollar and see what levels it is near, right? And so we're kind of focused over here towards this resistance. Let me just put it down a little bit, right, towards where we've seen that resistance flowing. Yeah, that's a better look over there. 1.2672, that's the resistance to focus on next, right? If you did take that long off of that support, right? This is the area you're now looking. Definitely as we wicked in here, I would have my stop loss at break even at that point because that could be a possible rejection setting up over there right now. But I would be looking for moving my stop loss to break even on this little wick right there. let me zoom in a little bit more. Maybe it's clearer for you. This wick over here, which tested the resistance, that's where I would be looking to move my stop loss to break even. Um, and it still has room if this momentum keeps going. If we do see further weakness in the dollar, then there's a good chance that we'll test and maybe even break this resistance up there. But that comes down also to selection and whether or not the pound is the best pair to be trading right now. We haven't looked at Tesla at all. Let's pull up Tesla. Actually, been avoiding Tesla ever since. Let me clean up the chart, and then we'll look at what we could do now with Tesla, because we've been avoiding Tesla. This is where we're like, all right, now, buy, sell. Now's the time to take profit on Tesla. If we break the resistance above as we pull back and resume off it, that's the entry for Tesla. And again, I don't know if we looked at this the other day or not. I feel like we did. And I was like, well, there's just no more way. I can't be, it's difficult to continue to hold Tesla at these levels right here, right now. How do you position in? You could see, look, you're in this big move up over here. The steepness of this is pretty strong, right? This does look like it's getting ready to pull back. If you make another impulse upwards, if you take out one of the highs, right? Every time you take out the high, right, after down candles, you have the next impulse up. Are we still going what looks mildly parabolic here? It's entirely possible. What I would do if I was in Tesla, as far as pullbacks, I'll look at that in a second. But look at that angle. If you break that angle, at that point, you got to get out of Tesla, right? Because it's just, as far as pullbacks though, I mean, I don't want to enter long. I would not want to enter long on that type of parabolic move right now on Tesla, personally. And I see that you're like, okay, well, either do I. I want to buy pullbacks. Is this the pullback that you want to buy? Because we've pulled back. You could see that 1, 2, 3 red bars, 1, 2, 3 red bars. You've pulled back. Are you going to see the equity markets break out to the upside and Tesla go with it and take out the $1,800 high? That's all completely possible, but it's kind of fuzzy right now. I like clarity, and this is not clarity. This is uber volatility, and I just prefer when there's more smooth waves rather than these I caught the fattest wave and it was the best ride ever. The opportunity's here and alive right now, but it's not my style. I don't know where you're looking or how you'd be looking to trade Tesla right now. That's awesome, because that's the whole goal of this channel is to make everyone involved a better trader. That is the whole purpose of this channel, is to make everyone a better trader. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, it looks like a FOMO, but so how many shorts are left on Tesla? I'm sure, have they all gotten really? Elon Musk was selling shorts on the Tesla website. How funny is that? So I don't know, but when something gets irrational, I just assume that it could continue to be irrational for longer than I expect, right? We're going to be going through these things on Bitcoin, right? We're going to see Bitcoin make some enormous moves to the upside, and then everyone's going to be like, that's it, I'm shorting Bitcoin, right? And then Bitcoin is going to wreck them. They're going to, people that sold Bitcoin taking profits thought that they were heroes. I had a close friend last Bitcoin bull cycle who bought Bitcoin at 3,000 and sold it at 5,000 and thought he was a hero. And I was talking to him when Bitcoin was at 8,000. It went up to 19,000, right? So a lot of people are going to be selling their Bitcoin at $55,000 and are going to be buying it back at 80,000. No, they haven't digitized gold. It's not possible to digitize gold. That's the difference between Bitcoin and gold, and that's why Bitcoin is superior to gold. It's not possible to digitize gold, right? All right. So S&P has been maintaining its breakout here. Like again, I don't know that this is going to happen, but what I'm leaning towards is this. Like the S&P just broke to new highs. It's right over here, and it's right over here, and it's just maintaining them. It's not yet going anywhere, right? Down or up. So I'm not looking for this time of day for much more of anything. It would be nice, and I would be totally happy to have a trend day where at the end of this day we're up 2.5, 3%. The odds of that happening are slim, so that's not what I'm looking for. Is it possible? Great. That would be fantastic, right? But I don't know. I mean, this time of day, that's generally not what we're looking for. I'm just looking at if it holds this extraordinary bullish for me, the fact that the S&P is holding these gains right now and not resuming down off being rejected by this resistance over here. Right? You're seeing everything participate, including the Dow. NASDAQ is up today. I mean, the NASDAQ looks phenomenal. We were looking at the NASDAQ when it was down, and nothing has changed right now. We're just waiting for a cleaner breakout over here to get involved. Tomorrow's the ECB. The market could be kind of waiting on that. Just looking at it technically, I'm not familiar with anything whatsoever, but looking at this from a pure technical standpoint, this looks pretty bad to me. That looks pretty bad to me. That looks like it's in bad shape. Altisource Portfolio Solutions. What is it a portfolio of? Capitalize on foreclosures. So they make money on foreclosures. Are you? So that's. I mean, again, now you're talking fundamentals. Are you talking about the possibility of a lot of people over the next month and or 3 not being able to meet any type of? Are we going to see help in the stimulus program? I don't know. That's too many moving pieces. Too many things need to go your way. It's again not my cup of tea. There's a reason I focus on the markets I focus in on. Do I see a cup and handle there? I do not see a cup and handle pattern here. Right? For cup and handle, you want to see the lip get back up to where the last lip was, then the handle, and then the breakout. I see something that's in a downtrend and you're looking to sell off of resistance. There's one there. There's one there. Now come into this little area of support. So you're in no man's land. But yeah. Let's get back in on the equities. And the dollar is really what I'm interested in. I want to see that dollar continue to slide down. Next 20 minutes, we could see an extension of moves. That's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, Joel, I'm sorry that I couldn't be more helpful. It's just not my cup of tea. Zoom out. Do you want to zoom out? Like that? Frank? ¿Por qué? All right, and the peso, yeah, really following through to the lows of the session right now. Like that a lot. Yeah. U.S. dollar, Swiss franc. I'm seeing the dollar that weak dollar making gains versus the Swiss franc today. This is coming into an area of resistance right now. Looked like I had a fake break on this overnight. This was the support, right? We wicked down below it, then pulled back up with that up price bar, and then that wick down, and now up to the upside. Do you think? Thanks, Christian. Thanks for sharing the love like that. I appreciate that. If anyone does enjoy being here and feel like supporting the channel, go ahead and smash that like button. Definitely helps Google know that people like what's being shared in here. Euro, Swiss franc. Yeah, Andre, I feel like I couldn't be helpful there at all. But that was just something we don't. That was just the conclusion. I was, it's too jumpy for me. Euro Swiss franc, we saw that huge breakout to the upside off that rising wedge pattern, right? That descending wedge pattern. That played out nicely. And not only did it play out nicely here on the breakout, but this was the break of resistance right here, right? Let me clean that chart up for you and show you. The break, there's the descending wedge, the breakout, but here's where you get involved. When you see the break of this resistance, and then you see it come back down and then test it as support, and then price resume up, that is your high probability entry. That's your high probability entry. And that's what you're looking for. And even though like Tesla is exciting right now, like are you kidding? Tesla's been bombastic, right? But our breakout was here. Our pullback into the support was here. And that was the clean high probability entry. Here was another one. There was another one. But now after breaking out over here, I mean, it's just, I myself would not be inclined to hold any further. I would just be taking profits and getting out. And I hope I would have had, not that I would have, but maybe, I hope I would have had the foresight to be getting out on that rip up there. I don't know. I mean, GBTC is not buying Bitcoin. You're buying a fund, Grayscale, which is invested in Bitcoin. So you're not buying Bitcoin directly, but Hank, it is the way that you could play Bitcoin within the equity markets, right? I own it in a Roth personally. So by the way, as we do that, I'll be happy to do that. I want to check out the hash ribbon signal. I think that you said you had to watch that on a daily time frame. Is that correct? Do you need to follow the hash ribbon indicator on the daily time frame? That was your thumbs. Thanks for your thumbs. Thanks for your thumbs. You see that? Can you imagine? Go ahead, smashing that thumbs down button, and then being like, "That was mine. that was mine. I'm the one who hit the thumbs down." Because notice me. Notice me because my mommy doesn't. Freaking idiot. Get out of here. Here we're going to put up the signals on the buy signals versus the true trend. Thumbs all day. I don't know, Frank. Altcoin versus gold miners. I don't know. Let's take a look at this. This is on the DXY. We had a buy signal over here on the DXY. But we had a true trend sell signal after they had a sell signal over here on the ribbons, but we had a clean sell signal over here as we broke down out of that channel. What about, here was a buy signal. That one didn't work out well. There was a sell signal that worked out really well. That was a great sell signal on the ribbons. That was actually catching the high of the DXY move over there. Exceptional. And then you're looking at over here, a buy signal. That was a good buy signal. Yeah, I mean, go back over to here. You had a buy signal, but there was also a sell signal over there. I mean, here we go. Because the true trend only got you long over here at 95. Let's see where that buy signal came in. They had a buy. Well, a buy. It's hard. The ribbons I don't like at all. What do you go long here? I guess they're not an exit signal because they're long throughout all of this. Even as price goes down and makes way lower lows. The true trend had you on the downside over here. I think the true trend is by far a superior indicator than the ribbons, but I see why people are attracted to the ribbons. No, Nick. No. Nick, that's awesome. Thanks for being over there. Thanks for being here with us today. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. GBTC is kind of a nice because it has different coins. You can also buy Litecoin, Ethereum, Ripple using not GBTC, right? But using Grayscale. You could use all of them. That's for sure. We're zoomed out now. So maybe it only works for Bitcoin. But if anyone has seen in the Bitcoin playlist, at the very bottom, I think, is a video on Bitcoin trading and on the 12-hour time frame. On the 12-hour time frame, I have to add it here. It's missing from my thing. And using also the true trend indicator. And on the 12-hour, what happened to my 12-hour time frame? There we go. So this is, and again, we had a buy signal over here as we reclaimed that trend line over there. We took that technically, and the true trend gave the buy signal over there. Have you long ever since there? It got you out of the market all the way up here. I don't know, call it 8,500 through that whole spill, getting you back in at the right time, right? Getting you back in at the right time. And this is a really good habit of keeping you on the right side of the trade. Look at this, right? It didn't get you at the top of the bull market, but it kept you in the entire bull market. Look at this. So there's actually the last halving. We looked at the ribbons, but the true trend got you in all the way down over here when Bitcoin was at $255. There was no sell signal until Bitcoin was trading right here somewhere around $10,000, right? And then kept you out. That's the way to do it. If you compare the ribbons, by the way, and granted, I understand it's supposed to be traded on the daily, not on the 12-hour, right? Let's go back though and let's look at that big bull market. Oh, we're past it. Here at $255 was the buy signal on the true trend, right? We are looking at a buy signal right here. Not too bad, right? Buy signal on the ribbon at a similar price, $655. And that got you out of the market much later at 6,400. The true trend BTC is by far a superior indicator than the hash ribbon. So I don't say that because I use it. I say it because it is. No, the true trend, Vance, is simply the CCI using a 333 period here. It's only the CCI using a 333 period for the true trend BTC. And the other true trend we use is a 70 period and a 3 period. All right, man. Thank you so much for that super session. With true trend, are you out at the first red bar? If you're using the true, go definitely seriously. If you're interested though, watch the video on the beginner Bitcoin strategy video on the playlist, on Bitcoin playlist on the channel, which will describe this 12-hour Bitcoin true trend BTC system in perfect. Yeah, and the exit is the first red bar. The first red bar is the exit, and then the entry is the first green bar. It's actually this is like a trading system that I could tell my mom to follow, and over the next 10 years, make a fortune. My mom is 81, right? Not that she needs to do that. She's out of all the markets right now, right? Except for whatever, she needs whatever profit she needs to take yearly for whatever requirements and whatnot. But it's easy enough and probably the most effective. Yep, GP. I'll see you tomorrow. And everyone, I'm gonna see you all tomorrow. It was a good session. I was waiting to see what happened, buying my time here, coming into the close. And we're seeing the equity markets actually trading up here, testing the highs of the session. It looks pretty nice, pretty nice. The dollar also coming off, not at the lows, We're testing it. Are we going to get a slow stealth trend day? It could be. It could definitely be. I just want to, yeah, it's free on TradingView. And Frank, there's also how to set up MetaTrader on the Forex playlist. It gives you the true trend for MetaTrader 4, or you could use it free here on TradingView. Yeah, thanks for everyone. We're gonna go out, since it was such a good session today, with some music over here. Let me go ahead and pipe that in. And I just want to thank everyone for being here today, and I hope you all have a beautiful day. That music is cutting out over here. I think I need a system restart. So we're not going to do it. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. I got to close some applications here. We got too much running. I will get that done for all of you for tomorrow morning. Well, that's not true, Roller. I just get more of them during the London. But yeah, there's plenty of sessions. If you go back and watch the videos where I've taken trades during the New York session, it just doesn't happen for me too often by the time I get online with you. Brad. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you tomorrow.